Have you ever felt like something's not quite right with the world? Like there are forces at play we don't fully understand. We're bombarded with choices every day. Brands, products, services. But what if I told you most of these choices are an illusion? Two names loom large. BlackRock and Vanguard. Could these giants might be pulling the strings of the global economy? This isn't about a conspiracy theory, it's about connecting the dots. These firms operate under the radar, their influence rarely discussed in mainstream media. Understanding the mechanics of power, the intricate web spun by BlackRock and Vanguard. Their reach is pervasive, impacting every facet of our existence. Let's talk about something we all relate to: food. We go to the food shop or a supermarket, we see countless brands and think we have a choice. But do we? Take a closer look and you'll see a disturbing pattern. Those seemingly different brands, competing for shelf space, are often owned by the same mega corporations. PepsiCo, for example, own not just the Pepsi drink, but also other brands, such as Rockstar Energy Drinks, Quaker Oats, and Doritos. And what about their so-called competitors? Companies like Coca-Cola, Nestle, and Unilever, all with their own sprawling portfolios of brands. The illusion of choice is shattered when you realize these giants control everything, from the snacks we crave to the beverages we drink. You reach for Doritos, but the profits flow to PepsiCo and Lipton iced tea, owned by Unilever. This creates an illusion of diversity while concentrating power. And with this, BlackRock and Vanguard own significant stakes. These massive companies are shaping the food industry and influencing our plates. But it's not just about the brands themselves. BlackRock and Vanguard not only hold substantial stakes in the companies that supply the food industry, they also invest in agricultural giants, fertilizer producers, and packaging manufacturers, controlling the entire supply chain from farm to table. This gives them unprecedented power, not only over what we consume, but also over farmers and food producers worldwide. This concentration of power has far-reaching consequences. It stifles innovation, limits consumer choice, and leaves our food system vulnerable to manipulation. It enables these financial behemoths to prioritize profit over people, potentially compromising the health and well-being of millions. Now, let's dive into the digital world, defined by innovation and disruption. Tech companies connect people and empower individuals. But is this the whole story? Is there a hidden hand guiding the digital revolution? BlackRock and Vanguard's fingerprints are all over the tech industry too. They own significant stakes in tech giants like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Facebook. Think about the data these companies collect. Every search, every like, every purchase, every interaction is tracked, analyzed, and monetized. This data is the new oil, and BlackRock and Vanguard are the unseen oil barons, profiting from our every digital move. This data collection isn't just about targeted advertising, it's about control. By understanding our behaviors, preferences, and beliefs, these companies can manipulate our choices, influence our opinions, and shape our perceptions of the world. They hold the keys to the digital kingdom, and their influence is only growing stronger. Now imagine the implications as technology advances. Artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and augmented reality. These emerging technologies have the potential to revolutionize our lives, but they also have the potential to be weaponized. In the hands of a few powerful entities, they could usher in an era of unprecedented surveillance and control. Think about it. Facial recognition software that can track our every move, algorithms that can predict our behavior, and virtual worlds that can manipulate our senses. This isn't science fiction, it's the future that BlackRock and Vanguard are quietly building. A future where our digital lives are no longer our own. Let's take a trip, shall we? Imagine booking a flight, eager for a getaway. The travel industry is dominated by a familiar duopoly. BlackRock and Vanguard hold substantial stakes in major airlines, hotel chains, booking websites. They shape your travel experience from start to finish. But their reach goes far beyond just getting you from point A to point B. Think about what fuels those airplanes, what powers those hotels. BlackRock and Vanguard are major investors in the energy sector as well, holding significant stakes in oil and gas companies, mining operations, and energy infrastructure projects. They profit from the extraction of fossil fuels, while simultaneously investing in what's described as renewable energy ventures. And then they present themselves as champions of a perceived sustainable future. This dual investment strategy allows them to control both sides of the energy equation, maximizing profits while appearing to address the climate change agenda to those that have bought into the narrative. This creates a dangerous illusion of choice, making it seem like we have options when it comes to our travel and responsible consumption. People might opt for an electric car, believing they are making an eco-conscious decision, but the batteries powering that vehicle likely rely on minerals extracted by companies backed by, you guessed it, BlackRock and Vanguard. And then there is the moral side of mining such minerals, and those unfortunate that are risking health for less than minimum wage. This intricate web of ownership and influence allows them to control the narrative around the climate change agenda, promoting certain solutions while downplaying others. They can dictate the pace of transition to renewable energy, ensuring it aligns with their financial interests, not necessarily what's best for the planet or its people. So let's talk about the elephants in the room, BlackRock and Vanguard. These names might not ring a bell for everyone, but their influence is undeniable. They are the puppet masters behind the curtain, shaping the global economy. They manage trillions in assets, dwarfing most countries' GDP. If BlackRock were a country, it would be the third largest economy. BlackRock's CEO, Larry Fink, advises governments and central banks. Vanguard operates in the shadows, its structure secretive. Both entities wield immense power, often working in tandem. BlackRock and Vanguard's cross-ownership makes them formidable. They own significant stakes in each other, creating a closed loop of power. Imagine a spider web connecting every major industry. Their influence extends to every corner of the global economy. This system makes true competition virtually impossible. They dictate terms, set prices, and control capital flow. It's a new form of corporatocracy controlling the global economy. Remember the illusion of choice we discussed earlier. It's amplified by the actions of BlackRock and Vanguard. They own stakes in competing brands, competing media outlets, competing energy sources. This creates a carefully curated illusion of diversity, masking a system that's anything but free. They control the flow of information, shaping public perception and influencing policy decisions. They can prop up industries they deem favourable, while letting others wither on the vine. This isn't about conspiracy theories. It's about recognising the immense power these firms wield and the potential consequences of their actions. I would like to also mention in this video the so-called philanthropists that play a large part pulling the wool over our eyes. To clarify the picture, I have to explain briefly what non-profits actually are. These appear to be the link between companies, politics and media. This conceals the conflicts of interests a bit. Non-profits, also called foundations, are dependent on donations, and because they do not have to disclose who their donors are, they can invest the money in the way they see fit and do not pay taxes as long as the profits are invested again in new projects. In this way, non-profits keep hundreds of billions of dollars among themselves. The foundations and funds of the families that are the richest stay in the background as much as possible. To try and keep this short, I will let you know about the three most important ones that connect all industries in the world. They are the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Open Society Foundation of the controversial multi-billionaire Soros, and the Clinton Foundation. According to the website of the World Economic Forum, the Gates Foundation is the biggest sponsor of the World Health Organization. So the Gates Foundation is one of the most influential entities in everything that concerns our health. The Gates Foundation works closely with the biggest pharma companies, among which are Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, BioNTech and Bayer. It's important to note that Bill Gates was not a poor computer nerd who miraculously became very rich. This conversation would go much deeper. His Microsoft is owned by Vanguard, BlackRock and Berkshire Hathaway. But the Gates Foundation, after BlackRock and Vanguard, is the biggest shareholder in Berkshire Hathaway. He was even the member of the board there. We would need hours if we wanted to uncover everything in which Gates, the Open Society Foundation of Soros, and the Clinton Foundation are involved. However, they form a bridge to our current situation, so it's important to introduce them. We're told to question everything, but what happens when our sources are compromised? When the media is controlled by the same entities that control the global economy? That's the reality we face today. BlackRock and Vanguard's influence extends far beyond corporations. It reaches into newsrooms where stories are crafted. They own substantial stakes in major media conglomerates, shaping public opinion and influencing policy decisions. The news you consume, the articles you read, the documentaries you watch, they're all filtered through a lens controlled by a select few. These gatekeepers decide which stories are newsworthy, which perspectives are given a voice, and which narratives are amplified. This control allows BlackRock and Vanguard to shape public perception. But their control goes beyond just the headlines. They influence the entertainment we consume, the music we listen to, and the social media we frequent. By investing in major entertainment companies, they shape cultural trends, promote values, and influence our thoughts. This subtle propaganda seeps into our subconscious, shaping our worldview without us realizing it. We laugh, sing along, and share viral content, all while being subtly influenced by crafted messages. So, how do we break free from this matrix of control? How do we reclaim our ability to think critically and form our own opinions when the very information we rely on is compromised? It starts with awareness. By understanding the mechanics of media manipulation, we can begin to see through the propaganda and question the narratives presented to us. We must diversify our information sources, seek out alternative viewpoints, and support independent media outlets that are not beholden to corporate interests. We must engage in critical thinking, question everything, and never blindly accept the narratives presented to us, no matter how convincing they may seem. We've journeyed through the heart of the global economy, exposed the hidden hand pulling the strings. BlackRock and Vanguard's influence permeates every facet of our lives, from the food we eat to the news we consume. The real threat lies in the erosion of our freedom and the stifling of dissent. Imagine a world where every choice is pre-selected, every opinion pre-approved. This isn't about demonizing these companies or their leaders. It's about recognizing the system they represent, a system that has spiraled out of control, a system that threatens our society. The first step towards change is awareness. We must wake up to the reality of concentrated power and the subtle ways our thoughts are manipulated. This isn't a time for complacency, it's a time for action. We must demand transparency and accountability. We must fight for a more equitable, just and fair world. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video from the Stellify channel. If this information is new to you, I most certainly recommend digging deeper and doing some research. If we are to free ourselves, we must know what we are facing, and the more people that become aware, the more chance we have of changing our reality for the better. If you have enjoyed this video, please may I ask that you share, subscribe and like, as this helps me beat the algorithms. And please do let me know your thoughts. I enjoy reading your comments and they always inspire me to create more content.